this time, I am excited to introduce our keynote speaker of today. She is a leader, speaker, author. Charlene Burroughs is presently the Region 7A advisor. Next year, she will serve as a region advisor to Region 5, which includes our district, District 8. Charlene has held all clubs and district level offices. In 2014 through 2015, she led her district to president distinguished status. She's thrilled to be a region advisor and thinks it is one of the best leadership roles she has held in the organization. Charlene has a passion for leadership and for Toastmasters. Serving as a regional advisor allows her to work within two areas that are her passions while serving others. Please join me in a warm introduction to Miss Charlene Burroughs, A Fresh Start.
After 3 years, you would think I know to hit the unmute button in order to speak. It gets me almost every time. Good morning, everybody. I am so glad to be here. I've had messages in the chat from friends from the past like RJ. Hi, RJ, good to see you. And I'm pleased to know that one of my mentors is in the room, Farzana. Thank you so much. And if we have had interaction in the past, I am glad you're here. But today, we're going to talk about fresh starts. And we're going to talk about fresh starts because 2023, and I should have put a dash and said through 2024, could be a very good Toastmaster year. It could also be a good personal year. As we go through the meeting today, I will sing a little bit. And I'm letting you know that because this is a warning. I am not noted as an outstanding professional singer, but it's going to be important for me to sing. Now, because I am professionally a trainer, there are going to be times I'm going to ask you to interact by putting some answers in the chat. So let's go. Let's find out about our fresh starts and why 2023 can be a very good year. Now, we had our first fresh start because we experienced several fresh starts in life. Oh, and as a matter of fact, I've got to make sure I'm screen sharing. Our first fresh start started the month, the day, and the year you were born. Man, you were so excited to climb out of that cramped room, and you were going to be able to meet new people. You were going to be able to do new things. But you had some things that were impacting you. There were lights shining in your eyes. You'd never seen that before. That little room had been dark. And then there were faces all around. And you had a wondering as a newborn about how you were going to get fed now that you were out of that room. And because you were a smart little newborn, you also wondered if you were going to have to go back into that new room to eat. Fortunately, you weren't going to. This was your first day in life, and you were ready for this fresh start. If somebody had had enough awareness of the event of your coming here, and they wanted to have a commemorative song, I believe the song would have been, "Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you." All of that would have marked your very first fresh start. Time went on, and you had several fresh starts in between your birth and this day. But right now, you were getting ready to start a new milestone in life. It was going to be the first day of school. And the first day of school was going to be a fresh start. You would meet new friends. You made some decisions about whether or not you liked your first teacher. You made more friends and you added people that you would walk through life with. You and your friends would experience several fresh starts together. cafeteria food, field trips, the first trip to the library, a wonderful break in the day that allowed you to freshen up, you know, that thing called recess, not resource. Professionally, I was an educator for 31 years, but I spent 22 of those years in the classroom. The first day of school was always an exciting day for me. I anticipated that start. From the time I was a student through the time I retired as a teacher, I would be nervous and anxious and excited, so much so that I'd have difficulty sleeping the night before the first day of school. How about you? Was I alone? If anybody else got excited about the first day of school, put "I did" in the chat. "14 schools. Oh my goodness. I'm glad to know most of you were like me. Now, I've got one other question. Did anybody think that going to school was a special kind of torture? If you did, put "yuck" in the chat. Good, people love school. Okay, cool, cool. Oh, got some yucks coming. I'm so sorry we did whatever we did to you. That was your brother. Sometimes. That's why you became an administrator. Smart. You didn't want other people to have the yuck. Amazement and concern. People love school. The song that we're going to use to commemorate the fresh start #2 is one I bet most of you remember. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We're all in our places with bright, shiny faces. So this is the way we start a new day. Fresh start #3. You love the teachers. You hated the other students. That's too cute. Fresh start #3. And this is included because my great niece, Chloe, who's the youngest member of our family, graduated last Saturday. She's going to go to college at Texas State. And Texas State is the same college LBJ attended. And he attended it when it was a teacher's college. Chloe has so many hopes for the future. She's so excited. This is going to be the start of a new chapter in her life. It's a fresh start. And all of those things are a good thing. Now, one thing we all probably know is that sometimes when you get a fresh start, you have to leave something behind. Chloe is a mama's girl. And going to college means she's going to have to leave mama, daddy, her sister, and her brother behind so she can embrace the future. Now, with this fresh start, her mother has learned a lesson because she'd sent one child off to college already, and she let that child come home every weekend. And she's already told me, Chloe's not coming home every weekend. She can come home for holidays. So the song I would dedicate to her at this time is "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday." And I'll just do the refrain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. So fresh start #3. How many of you remember when you graduated from high school? And tell me what you were looking forward to by putting that information in the chat. College, college, going away to college. No more tests. You remember freedom. Me too, that freedom was big. College and freedom, college. The independence at college, more time to work, being independent, living away from, new chapter, try to figure it out, looking forward to no more school, getting a job, adventure beyond the cornfields, freedom, earning money. I look at all those freedoms. College, going away to college and living on your own. You love school so much that you teach. Not wearing uniforms, working, that growth. Your wilderness experience. Now, Curtis, I'm curious. We'll have to talk about that maybe later. I grew up in El Paso, Texas. And when I left to go to college, I said to people, I'm not coming back here to live ever, ever, ever. That's one thing I was looking forward to, leaving El Paso, Texas, and not coming back. Now, the freedom I was going to have was going to be something good too, because I was sort of a sheltered child. But being away from home at college was going to be a good thing. And I see for some of you, it was the same. Every year, we have a fresh start on January 1st. We celebrate the start of a new year. We make resolutions like exercise more, eat less, lose some weight. Oh, those are mine. Shh. Okay. What were yours? And how are you doing with them? So go ahead, share what your resolutions were, please, and how you're doing. Saying not good. I hear you, Dorothy. Start playing more golf. Oh, join Toastmasters. Thank you, Adeline. Give more speeches. Awesome. Read more. Uh-huh. You're doing all right. Make a better place for you so you can have a better world. Complete a path. Resurrect your keynotes. Deepening your faith. Set goals. Art. Be healthier. And you're doing great. I'm going to have you coach me. Knocking them out. Read more, listen more, love more. You gave up on making New Year's resolutions a long time ago. You know, that might be the smart thing to do. Be more confident, less nervous. I achieved many of the goals that you wrote down, like after college. Oh, get your mom moved. Don't make resolutions, but work on being a better person every day. Some days are better than others. And one thing about the new update to Zoom is people can give you feedback. And you see that some people gave you hearts based on what it is you put in the chat. So don't forget to give people feedback if what they say resonates with you. Now, there's already a song for the new year, and it's Auld Lang Syne. Should old acquaintance be forgot? And I'm not going to go any further. Oh, and Ariel wants me to know the new year starts at the spring equinox, not January 1st. So that's when you start making resolutions. Okay. Now we've got another fresh start that's rapidly approaching. It's the start of a Toastmasters new year. Yay! It's time for us to decide to give more speeches and to attain more movement on our pathways so we can help our clubs become distinguished. Club officers are examining the milestones they have to help the club reach so the club can be distinguished. And district leaders are trying to figure out how to motivate you, the member, and motivate the clubs. And they want to motivate everybody so we get more speeches done. We bring more people in and we start building new clubs. All of those are measured on the dashboard. And all of those are indicators that we are meeting the members' needs because it's sort of customer service. So everybody is on the hunt for distinguished. Yay, yay, yay. But one thing though, Toastmasters doesn't have a song. We're going to have to work on that one. Thank you, gentlemen. So, the journey. All of us have had a journey, and we're going to look at the journey that's personal, and the one that's club journey, and the one that will lead to district success. And we're going to do it with me. Now, I'm going to start by understanding the why, not your why, but my why. You know, people are looking at the why. That's a big thing today, to examine the why. So let's look at mine. In 2008, I was attending a small Black church. Now, I'm going to mention the fact that it's a small Black church because that piece of information is important to the telling of the story. If you're listening to me now, I think you might agree that I speak what is known as the King's English. And if you're looking at me now, you know that I'm Black or African American. Those facts too are important to the story because they represent the reason I was picked. I was in the Sunday school class with one of the assistant pastors, and she had listened to me and decided I would be the perfect person to be the mistress of ceremonies for the upcoming Pastors and Wives anniversary event. Now, she had made some assumptions. She assumed that I had grown up in the Black church. If I had grown up in the Black church, that would have meant that I was on program and would have given speeches during the Christmas program, the Mother's Day program, the Easter program. Because in the Black church, they allow their students, their children, to get on stage and practice speaking. However, my family had moved to the suburbs by the time I would have started speaking in church. I grew up in a white church, and my church didn't have children giving speeches at Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter. That assumption was wrong. All right. She also assumed that because I spoke the King's English, the words of Mistress of Ceremonies would use when she spoke during this event would just flow off my tongue. Wrong again. But I was new to the church and I wanted to be involved. So I said yes. How hard could it be? That was the beginning of a world-class disaster. MCing for a church event is different from MCing for any other situation. You've got to throw in a lot of amens and a lot of praise the Lord and a lot of other words of praise. I didn't know that. Now, fortunately, there was a man there who was also doing something that was similar to MC work. He was saying amen, praise the Lord, praise him with me, everybody, and other things like that. Well, I tried to emulate him. It wasn't something that was natural for me. So trying to include those phrases contributed to the disaster. Now, I tell you, it was so bad that if I really stop and think about me being at that event today, I could go through the floor. It was that bad. I was just bummed out the rest of the day. You know how we're harder on ourselves than anybody else could be? But I will tell you, I wasn't that hard on me. Do you know that woman quit speaking to me? Ugh, the nerve. But I went to work the next day. I got in the elevator to go to my office, which was on the 8th floor. The doors closed. And I promise, a light shone down from heaven. Angels started to sing. I looked at the wall in front of me and I saw a sign that said, "Do you need help with public speaking? Toastmasters can help." There was going to be a demonstration meeting in my building that week on Wednesday. I tell you what, I was so excited about it that now the people who are here today don't realize that this is my habit. Generally, I show up just in time. I was here 30 minutes early today. But for that demo meeting, I was sitting in the room 15 minutes before it started. I was there when the demonstration team got there. I was excited all through the meeting. I listened to the speaker. I listened to what they had to say. And I signed up to be the club's first VP membership. It was the start of a great adventure. I will tell you, you never know the places that you will go when you are a Toastmaster. There are opportunities to speak. There are opportunities to evaluate speakers and to answer questions off the cuff, off the top of your head. And you even have opportunities to serve by being a club officer. And as Sarah told you in the beginning, I have been a person who held every club office since 2008. And it's even an opportunity for you to serve on the district level. I started out, and see I started out as an area director. Many of you know Monica Rose. Monica heard me compete in a tall tales contest. I told a story about a little dog who could play hide and go seek, and about our epic battle at the end where I tried to keep that dog from beating me. He beat me anyhow. But they heard me give that speech, and I don't know how they decided that that meant I'd be a good area director, but she called me and asked me if I could serve. And back then, I didn't know this important 2-letter word. No. So I said yes. That's what got me in trouble at the church too. So I did that for a year. I served and I shared my gifts with 5 different clubs in our district. And that was way back in the dark ages. And I still have a relationship with all those people I served. So if you're thinking about being an area director, just know that's a way to meet people in our organization. And if you serve them and serve them well, as you climb up the Toastmasters rungs of the ladders, they'll do anything you ask them to do, no matter what. So after being area director, I ran for and received the opportunity to be a division director. I only got to do that for half a year. And I did it for half a year because the person who was in what is now called club growth director position got sick and she needed to be replaced. And the district governor at that time asked me to replace her, and I did. And in those 6 months, I started 10 clubs, and it was a big race for my person who's the incoming CGD here, because I will tell you that there were times, Patty, that I was so tired. I think I was driving sleep because I would drive up on curves. Don't do that. Get your rest. Then I moved on and I became Lieutenant Governor Education and Training, which is now called Program Quality Director. And I did that well. And then I got to District Director, which at that time was called District Governor. And I got to lead my district to President's Distinguished. Now I'm going to tell you that there's a story behind that too. I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I stood on the stage the evening I had been inaugurated, and I told everybody that we were going to go to Las Vegas as a district, and we were going to have a banner. And I wanted all of them to come with me to take that banner across the stage in Las Vegas, because it was going to say that we were a President's Distinguished District. We got it. And there are people today, that was 2014, 2015, who still talk about it because they traveled to Las Vegas with us to take the banner across the stage. So what about you? Where are you in Toastmasters? What are you going to do? Do you need an elevator experience? I should hope not. But I'm just wondering, what's your why? So in the chat, tell me why you're here. Why are you in Toastmasters? Okay, leadership skills. mentoring and teaching others. It's fun to do what you enjoy, improve speaking and leadership, to serve, a better communicator, helping others as you help yourself while you grow, friendship, personally and professionally, servant leader, better communicator, always wanting to improve, personal growth, make connections, public communication and leadership skills. Perfect your speaking so you can present your business and your events. And that's big for you, Chrissy. It's just going and going and going. Make others tomorrow better. Continue to learn and grow, being social, help others. Learn to use your photography in nurturing people. Oh, cool. Perfect your speaking. Nice to spend time with people who are trying to grow. Getting better at public speaking for your career and other things you're passionate about. So you're easier to listen to, working with different kind of people. Your final presentation in AP Psychology in high school today, it was the most impactful speech presentation you've ever given. You received the most impactful 6-word evaluation you will ever receive from your teacher. Well, Paul, I'm curious, what were the 6 words?
Thank you, Charlene. The 6 words, what a service to the class.
What a wonderful teacher. You did a great job that day, and I wasn't even there. Thank you for sharing.
No, so, and as I mentioned in the chat earlier, I am resurrecting that presentation. I've given 2 versions of it. I just gave one version of it earlier this week at our club meeting here in District 12. I gave a little portion of it, and likely will be giving it again to another club here in District 12 coming up. That 15-minute presentation from high school turned into a 1-hour workshop, won a regional award here in Southern California, and I've gotten some great feedback ever since then when I presented that presentation elsewhere.
All right, then. Are you going to present it in clubs that have do Zoom meetings?
I've presented it in Zoom. I've also done it in a hybrid format, working on how I can bring it into a hybrid format and seeing what I can do with it. I think it's been fun to resurrect little portions of it, but I've only given portions of it, maybe 15-minute segments. It's a 1-hour workshop that I've given, and again, I've given it 7 times during my time in college, and now we're trying a little bit more. So it'd be interesting to be able to do that. It'd be interesting to give it to a larger group, and maybe a group that I give the full 1-hour presentation to. I'd be interested to see, and be a nice challenge for me to resurrect it into a hybrid format, because the full version I've only presented in an in-person before at the college campus. I've done it in front of a room full of 30 people. And again, some of those feedback I received from those individuals at the college campus, I kept in a little journal. It makes me cry every time I read it.
Oh, Paul, that's wonderful. I sent you my email address, and I'd love for you to invite me to one time I could watch it via Zoom.
All right, we'll give it a try. And right now I have another District 12 member who's contacted me this week about perhaps doing it for another group, but I'm using this opportunity to challenge them as well. Do they want to use it as a recruiting event for their club or for their area or for their division? Something we can do, or as I see someone's indicated here in the chat, perhaps it's a TLI opportunity level thing. But I'm interested to bring back that presentation, see what I can do, and be fun to bring that back and see what more impact we can have and show just how far public speaking, leadership, and compassion can do to building up a team and showing your support for a group.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene.
Now, I've got a question for one more person. Marilyn, I want you to tell us about how you're using Toastmasters with your photography and nurturing people.
I always forget to turn off the mute too, sorry. I retired as a registered dietitian a few years back. And now I discovered photography. My dad had a couple of Nikons and I turned it into a memory card camera. And every day I go out and take some more pictures. What I'm doing is putting little phrases with the flower. And actually I have a PowerPoint on mentoring, because one of my pictures would be a bud of a flower. And that's how the young Toastmaster is. And then another picture is when it's opened up and it's now this bud is teaching others about Toastmasters. And so I'm developing that one. But the one I actually have it's a yellow flower and it kind of looks like an umbrella. And my little phrase I just came up with was, if you have a flower as your umbrella, you'll always have sunshine.
That is very nice.
Pass it out. I'd like to pass it out to just people I see on the street. I have to watch on that one because some people, if you pass something out to them, they'll shoot you, but we have to go with that too. So, but I just make a positive world and really maybe even get world peace, as the movie people always say. But
through pictures of a flower, very nice.
Yeah, I mean, nature. We just actually my photography has helped me look at the whole composition of nature. Nature and the birds and everything take care of the earth. They take care of everything, and we can learn from them. There's a flower that I have that's one's leaning on another, and so my little caption is "Lean on me," or ask questions and lean on me for help. And so I just want to develop that. And I have a word in my vocabulary I'd like to get rid of so I can do more with this, and that's called procrastination.
Oh, yeah. I know that word.
I'll get there.
One of my friends.
Thank you very much. You're wonderful speech. Thank you.
Marilyn, I want you to look in the chat because 2 people have given you some affirmations.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
All right.
I love that too.
There's one more person that I'd asked about their why. I spoke to Farzana this morning, but I didn't tell you she's one of my mentors. When I first became a region advisor, she was one of the ladies who told me what to do. And when I had problems, I might call her. And I think I called her a couple of months ago because I had an issue and I wanted to get some answers. Farzana, will you tell us about your why, please?
There can be many whys as we evolve in life. Thank you, Charlene. My why is that through Toastmasters, I have found my goal and my impact. My goal is to make this world a thriving place for all humans. And we cannot make that happen overnight with a magic wand. It is one person at a time, and we all have to participate in that transformation. And that is my why. Toastmasters provide that opportunity, and I am a result of so many people, particularly on this in this meeting. And I can name all of them, but there is John Berry, and I still remember when he handed me a bottle of Coke that think that this is your microphone and you are giving that 2-minute speech for a district trio 2-minute speech. So there are so many people who help in that process. We all can make this world a better place and a thriving place. And that is my why. Thank you, Charlene.
Thank you. And because I know him from the first time I was a Region 5 advisor, RJ, tell us a little bit more about your why. I saw what you put in the chat, but go a little further.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Charlene. I've always been a personal growth and personal development and avid reader and all that. And I just felt like after I accomplished my DTM and served the different senior leaderships in the district, it was my obligation to pay back, or responsibility to pay back some of that stuff. And as I always believe in a good story, I always relay to people when they ask me something like that, is when I go shopping, especially if I don't know how many are familiar with like Aldi's store where you have to pay a quarter to get the cart. Usually I wind up giving it to a lady that I see coming up there to get one. And she goes, here's a quarter. I said, no, just do me a favor and pay it forward, if you will. I think that's what this world needs today and make it a better place. If we all just think about paying it forward to make each other a little bit better than we are.
Thank you, RJ. Now, I called on certain people. Is there anybody else who would like to let us hear their voice, telling us a little bit more about their why? Now, here's the deal. I was a teacher, and I don't have a problem calling on people. Now, you've already seen that. Is there anybody who doesn't want me to call on them and you're just going to tell us?
Hey, Charlene, this is Rahul here.
Hey, Ro.
And I heard only a part of your speech, but it was very, very impactful. Just that half of that speech. So that clearly outlines and underscores your why and your impact. But as far as my why goes, and can you hear me clearly, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. My why starts when I was a 5-year-old boy, and I was asked to recite a hymn on stage. And some of you may have heard this story before. I was asked to recite a hymn on stage. Hymn, as most of you would know, is a perfectly by-hearted piece of prose or poetry. So there is no rocket science. You just have to go there, reciprocate, and reproduce that. And I thought that was a piece of cake. When I stepped onto the stage, though, in front of 40 people, out of whom 30 I knew, so it was not difficult. I could not say anything else other than my name. My name is Rahul Joglikar. I awkwardly walked off the stage. That was by far arguably the most embarrassing day of my life, as all of you can imagine. And that day I cried a lot means lot. And my father, luckily, was my mentor. So he sat me down for a 1-hour heart-to-heart conversation. He said, don't worry, you are just a 5-year-old boy. There are 50-year-olds also in the same boat. They face anxiety, they face fear when they step onto the stage. They don't know what they will expect from the audience, what audience to expect, and whether the audience will eat them alive, right? And things like that. So he said, don't worry, we can combat this, we can overcome this by proper training for speaking and everything. And I want to make sure that you become a good speaker and a good communicator in the future when you grow up. And he passed away 16 years ago, but those words still ring clearly in my ears every single day, because now I'm living his message. I have learned public speaking, I have learned the art of storytelling, and I have passed on my messages to people through my stories, through my insightful information shares. And I was listening to Paul, and I'm extremely excited to see if I can get invited to one of his next presentations, because that is the power of storytelling. And that is my why, clearly, to make others' lives and tomorrow better than today through my insightful, powerful messages and stories. That's it. Because if you make people's lives and tomorrow better than today, you have achieved your purpose, at least for me. Thanks.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That is just awesome. What district are you from?
District 8, and Rhonda is signaling. So District 8, I work in her district. I am the newly elected Division F director.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Rhonda, tell us your why, please.
I have always wanted to be a teacher. And since my mother was a library teacher, she knew that I did not have the aptitude to teach, not because of the teaching, because of all the extra politics and things associated with being in the teaching profession. But in Toastmasters, since I'm an avid and a quick learner, I have that opportunity to share knowledge with other people. And I love my mentees. I love giving them suggestions to help push them to reach their goals. And in my last days, I want the memories of me to be, Rhonda helped me. That's it.
That is powerful. Rhonda, help me. This might be something I need to add to why I do things. Now I'm looking around and I'm going to ask one more person, two more people to speak. Let's see. Princess, I like your name. Will you tell us about your why? Oh, this Princess group, there's more than one. Okay, take yourself off mute. You're doing a Charlene.
Huh?
There you are.
Okay. I can't see my photo anymore. Okay, I don't know what I did. But my why is I could speak before. I didn't have any fear speaking in a crowd that has about a million people there. Done a whole lot in the past. Done a lot of events. I published magazine, newspaper. Recently, I also did bakery. But after I had a traumatic event happen to me, an illness, okay, it's like everything just went down. I couldn't do anything anymore. I'm trying to get back up. So, but now why now is I'm kind of struggling to get back out there to start speaking again. I recently joined the Toastmaster, Grace Church Toastmaster District, and training for the secretarial position there.
Mm.
So now I'm trying to get back. I have a lot of books, a lot of things that I want to write about. I have so much in me I want to share with the world. And just wanted to take that step out to get back out there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing your why. And my last person, Melissa, that is the cutest cat. That is a cat, isn't it? I love the cat's glasses. I love the bow tie. Melissa, tell us your why.
Well, when I was just starting in 2014, I was thinking of starting up a business and trying to develop networking. That was a real challenge for me because I am a teacher at heart. So I joined Toastmasters and found that my real why was connected to becoming a more effective teacher. Because what I found here were skills and feedback and evaluation techniques that took my teaching to the next level. So that's why I've stayed.
Thank you, Melissa. Now that was a cat, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it's because I'm a science teacher and I love I'm a big fan of cats, and I feel like I have an inner cat sometimes because I like warm sunlight and blankets and cuddles
And preening.
so yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. So that's why I use that as an avatar.
All right. Thank you so very much. Thank all of you for sharing your why. And let's just go on to the last slide. I just want you to know there is power in a fresh start. So I want you to, before we leave each other, as far as me speaking, I want you to stop and think, what is going to be your fresh start? How are you going to help yourself grow personally? How are you going to help your club become distinguished? How are you going to help your district become distinguished? Now that sounds like I'm asking for a resolution. And some of you said already that you don't like resolutions, but let's call it a commitment. What's your commitment? What are you going to do as your fresh start? Please put that in the chat. Yay, Paul. Okay. Yay, Rhonda. Yay, Mary. Yay, blank spare. Oh, yay, Farzana. Yay, Princess. Yay, Ariel. Yay, Sarah. Yay, Terry. All right. Yay, Jan. Yay, Regina. Yay, Herman. I already got you, Paul. Yay, Andrew. Yay, Dr. Jones. Very good. Yay, Deanna. Yay, Frankie. Yay, Andrea. Jonathan. Ira, outstanding. Sharice. I think you pronounce your name Ananji, and if I said it wrong, don't throw rocks at me.
Oh, you're good.
Thank you. Meg, very good. Tim, super. Good, Richard. So you're going to be the one who tells them how to go through pathways and do those things. Keep that momentum going and get more younger people in the club. Good. And keep them once they're there. Grow our club. Super, Tony. And if you have not signed up to be an area director, they need you. So sign up now. It's not a big commitment. Like I told you, you will meet people you will travel your Toastmaster career for. And if you have just done the basic things like taking the time to get to know them, attending their club meeting, all of those things, they will do anything you ask them to for the duration of your Toastmasters career. And with that, back to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Charlene. What a great presentation. I know we are all very motivated and we couldn't ask for a better speaker. I know that a fresh start doesn't just have to be a resolution. It can be a fresh start daily, you know, starting fresh with something, you know, yesterday could have been horrible, but every day is a new start. And having goals and everything, it's amazing what we can do and what we're capable of. So Charlene, on behalf of District 8, thank you so much for giving your time this morning to be with us. And we cannot wait to work with you for the next year as our new Region 5 advisor. So I know Rhonda's already beat me to the applause, but if everyone can, you know, give a round of applause, Miss Charlene, or the silent applause, we greatly appreciate your time. It was a lovely speech.
I'm so glad to have been here. Thank you for asking me. I look forward to working with you all. If you need me, reach out. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, wait,
Sharon.
this is the time for questions, if anybody has any.
Yeah, you have time for questions. Any more questions for Miss Charlene? No, you're getting lots of kudos, which is always great.
I just love it.
I have a fun question, Charlene.
Yes, Farzana.
So you joined in 2008 after an experience, and I have a similar story, but if you can go back and tell yourself at what age you would have joined a Toastmasters?
If I knew what I knew now, I would have joined at 18. Bring those young folk into the organization and work to keep them. Because, you know, I'm looking around and some of us are baby boomers and we think differently than they think. And they think differently than we think. But it doesn't matter. We can learn from each other.
Absolutely. I wish I can go back and join at 18. Thank you.
Oh, and one last thing I will tell you, all of you, I have never spoken at a church since then, and don't ask me. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jackie.
Well, just as a reminder for everyone, I know we're getting at the 5-minute point before our next session that starts at 11. Obviously, Charlene will be here maybe for a little bit. I won't promise anything because I haven't talked to her yet. But remember that the next session starts at 11. So if you're planning on joining a session, try to get into that breakout room. We'll start at